before we even drilling into the inspection itself, just to make the investors more knowledgeable about the preparation stage. There are more aspects like accessibility, because sometimes like garage could be not accessible.
Yes. Garages, usually in the detached garages, most of the homes do have garage door openers, automatic garage door openers. And if we don't have a remote control available to us, we cannot get in the garage a lot of times. People do lock garages and they forget about leaving a key behind.
Yeah.
Home inspectors cannot break into a garage to inspect it the same way we cannot break into a home to inspect it. Other things that can happen is in the attic spaces above the homes, a lot of times those are blocked, excuse me, those are blocked by personal belongings by the tenant or the people living there. They have their clothes up there, they have boxes up there. Home inspectors are not required to be furniture movers, okay? I'm one guy. I can't move a house, okay? I can't move a dresser by myself or a wardrobe or anything like that. All right, so we want to make sure that the people selling the house, the seller's agent, know that we have to have access to the attic spaces. We have to have access to the crawl spaces underneath the homes. We have to have access to the electrical panels so we can inspect the inside of an electrical panel and all the other mechanicals throughout the house. We need to have access. It's very difficult when homes are, a lot of times when homes are occupied with people that have a lot of belongings. Those belongings can't conceal defects in the home that, you know, as an inspector, I'll try my darndest to see that wall, but when it's covered from floor to ceiling with nothing but boxes and clothing, I'm very limited.
For sure. So I think if we summarize this lesson, it is the investor responsibility to make sure the house, and I always categorize it like that. Before inspection, make sure the house is fully inspectable, meaning in terms of utilities and everything you want to be turned on, so everything could be inspected. And the next category that I like to use, that the house is fully accessible. It means some examples like the garage door being open or leaving the remote, or if there are belongings, and it's a natural situation for a person moving out to have belongings in the basement, or a lot of stuff that they just leave at the attic. So make sure that you discuss with the seller, because some of the most important elements of inspection, they are many times in the attic and the basement, and you want to make sure you are able to inspect that. And now we're going to do a conversation about the inspection itself. We have a house under contract, we prepared everything for the inspection, and the inspector gone to the property. So now I think it's a really good opportunity, Bill, to share from your experience, the day-to-day, when you go to the inspection. Maybe you can walk us through what are the main elements that you're looking at, like the big ticket items, the thing that you are mostly watch out, and what is your thinking when you try to explain what are you looking at the home inspection, and give us like a focus on the essential things.
Okay. The first thing I do when I show up to a home to inspect it is actually I pull up outside the home and I just look at the home from the street. There's a lot to be said about, you know, just sitting back and taking a look, taking in the overall picture of the home. You know, we're taking a look at the roof. You look up at the roof line, you can tell a lot by the home. You want to see that roof line straight. If you see a dip or a sag, it alerts a home inspector that we're looking for other problems probably in the foundation or in the roof structure. But I always start on the outside. One of the most important things that everybody's looking for is the condition of the roof covering. Most of the roofs that are installed now in this part of the country are what we call architectural composition shingles. Most of those that are installed these days they have basically a 25 to 35 year life expectancy on them. But I personally try to get up on the roof whenever possible, and I perform a visual inspection of the roof covering by actually walking or climbing the roof. While I'm up on the roof, it's very important that your inspector does a thorough inspection of not only the roof covering, but any penetrations coming through that roof. We have waste stacks that are penetrating that roof that need to be watertight. We have chimneys from fireplaces and for venting mechanicals that are penetrating that roof. And we want to make sure that those are all in good condition, because if the roof covering's bad, your roof penetrations are bad, water can end up going into your attic space, and water in the attic space can make for mold in the water in the attic space, and can actually cause water damage to the ceilings and other parts of the home. From the exterior of the home, I like to move down to the basement area.
Maybe before we go to the interior of the house, I think it's really important to recap an important observation that you are sharing with the investors and our audience. Is that first of all, when thinking about a home inspection, it is very, very important to take a look not just on the home, but on the home in conjunction to the street. How it looks on the street, and also like there is the driveway, because it's being a very important element that also our cities are enforcing. And you mentioned, for example, the roof, and I think it is very important because the structure from outside and the roof, even though it might not be an immediate repair, and people that are hiring contractors and getting like scope of work bids, they might get all the interior cosmetic look and feel, but sometimes they won't get in the scope items that related to the bones of the property or the roof structure. And I think it's important, and I'm connecting to another thing that you explained on one of the previous questions and videos that we had regarding basically capex, because you mentioned some of the things may be okay now, but if they're not getting repaired, they might be deteriorated down the road. So I think this is very important observation that from an inspection report, and we will get more examples as we drill into the interior, I'm sure, but I think the roof is a very good example for that. We need to know not just what we need to repair now, which is the immediate repair scope, but also we can use the inspection report to build the capex plan of the expected expenditures going forward when we hold a property. And the roof is a very good example for that. Even if we have like 5 to 7 years, just as an estimation, or 20 years left for the roof, anyway, it's a big capex item to be accounted for.
Yes.
And also evaluate the property value depends on this life remaining expectancy for the roof.